No calls on Sunday. That's what this is about. There was a man who called his father every Sunday.
Ivan.
When work got busy, even when life got hard, he called. Until one Sunday, he didn't, just forgot. And then came Monday. Tuesday, I'll call him later, he said. But by the next Sunday, it was too late. His father had passed away alone in his room with the phone beside him. The last dialed number on the phone was Derek's. It called him and Derek didn't answer. The guilt never left. Years passed. One night, Derek's own teenage son forgot to call from college. He waited and waited, but the house was silent. Then the phone rang. He picked it up and smiled. It was his father calling to say, "I'm coming home for dinner on Friday." "What time should I be there?" Derek said. "You can be there at 7. Then hung up and went to his father's room. There was an old framed picture of him and his dad on the wall. He took it down and stared at it. In the picture, his dad was smiling, holding a fishing rod. It was the last picture Derek had taken with his dad. He remembered how happy his dad was that day. They had gone fishing, and his dad had caught the biggest fish he'd ever seen. And afterwards, they'd had it grilled at a restaurant. Derek was 7 years old in that picture. He hadn't realized how much younger he'd been. He looked back at the phone in his hands. His dad must have called him hundreds of times over the years, but he hadn't answered any of them. Derek was overcome with guilt. He knew he should have answered that call. He knew he should have called back. All those times his dad called him, he never did. Then he heard it again, the sound of the phone ringing. He picked it up and it was his dad again. "I'm coming home for dinner on Friday," he said. "What time should I be there?" And Derek said, "You can be there at 7. Then he hung up the phone, went to his car, and drove to the cemetery. He hadn't meant to, but he needed to see his dad's grave. When he got there, he stood by the grave and cried. He cried for all the calls he never answered, for all the times he never called back. He cried for all the years of silence. Then he stopped. He wiped his eyes and looked at the headstone. It read, "Derek, my son, you are my legacy." And Derek realized something. His dad had never stopped loving him. He had never stopped calling him because he loved him. And now Derek understood that he had to stop crying, stop blaming himself, and start living. He owed it to his dad. He owed it to himself.